Hello mates, welcome to Full Stack Java Developer. I am Kiran Jadhav here. In this session, I will teach you in Spring Boot application differentiate path variable versus request param. Like both are the annotation @path variable and @request param. Then in this session, we'll go ahead with the deep dive into practical approach like real-time use case. Then first we'll start with the theory context and then we'll start with the practical. See, this is very common last into question. Differentiate @path variable versus @request param. Then see first point in path variable. Like path variable extract value from the URI itself. And request param extract value from query parameters. Next point in path variable. Like whatever like input you are giving, it must be mandatory. Like mandatory parameter must be present in the URL itself. But if you are thinking about request param, whatever input you are giving, it's not mandatory. This will be optional parameter. Like you can simply use required equal to false and define the default values there. Then coming to next third point in path variable, like this is you can simply say like URL perspective, right? Like here we are using get mapping and the corresponding API we are giving here, like best example employees. Then we are just giving the input as empId. It must be present. And whatever variable name you are giving here in with that path variable, it same name you need to pass here actually. And request param, like suppose you are using get mapping here, and here it's not mandatory to pass this emp department. Suppose we are giving the input as emp department, right? Here we are using request param. Then this emp department, it's not mandatory to present in URI itself. Next point corresponding to path variable URL. The URL you can simply say this is the API employees / as curly brace empId we are passing, and here it will be employees, and this is the exact value we are giving. Like forward you can simply say / and then we are giving the employee ID. But if you are thinking about request param URL, then definitely we are just going to consider here this will be employees, and then we are just going to consider this will be like question mark, and then we are passing here emp department equal to the exact value. Then when to use path variable when accessing a specific resources like find by empId, right? Then empId must be mandatory there. And when to use request param, like when adding filters, pagination or optional inputs to a request, that time you can simply go to the request param. Then we'll see the practical scenario here. For that perspective, we'll simply come up with our Chrome browser and we are creating the Spring Boot application. Simply type Spring Initializer. See, we'll create everything from scratch itself. This is the project as Maven, the language is Java, Spring Boot version, latest version we are using here. This is the information about our project. Group, it means our base package I am giving here com.fullstack. Application name I am giving here Spring Boot example. Now simply refactor the base package. Then packaging as Java version 17. Adding dependencies, we are using DevTool for live load. Next we are using here Lombok. It will help us to reduce the boilerplate code. Next we are using Spring Web itself available in built Tomcat server, and it will help us to create the REST API. Next we require the MySQL dependency here, and the next is we are using data API for persistence layer. Simply click on generate. Within a minute production ready application will be available there. Now we are just going to copy our application and paste it into particular folder. Simply right click here, go ahead with the extract. And once extraction is done, then we'll copy the path of our application and simply come up with the IntelliJ. In IntelliJ, I am just trying to import it. Goes to file, new project from existing sources and given the path of our application. Simply go to the OK. Then this is Maven project. Click on create trust project with new window. I want to open in another window. Now we'll simply come with the pom.xml file, and here we are going to add the Swagger UI dependency. I will show you how to use Swagger and Postman API as well here. Then we are just trying to add the Swagger UI dependency here. This will be, you can say org.spring.doc. Now simply click on yes here and do Ctrl-Alt-Space. Then see, this is like Swagger UI dependency we are just going to add. The version is latest version, version 2.8.5. Now we'll come up with the src main. We have resources, there is available properties file. Then properties content, I will add from existing any application here. Yeah, you can simply copy from our GitHub. I will add the GitHub URL in our YouTube description box. and the database name I want to say this will be HRM database. It will goes to create. Then see, this is the database properties we have added. Like here we are going to load the driver class, then establish the connection username password, right? Such a like properties content we have added within application.properties. Now simply come up with the Maven and do the build of our application. Mun clean space install. It will start with the build. Then meanwhile we will come up with the base package. Right click on that new package. The package name I am giving here, this will be entity package, because we are going to create the entity class. New Java package I am giving, this will be repository package. Coming to next, we are creating here new Java package, this will be service package. Now we are just going to create the new package name as controller package. Next we will come up with the entity. Simply right click there, new Java class, this will be employee as a entity I am going to consider here. Come up with the repository, we are creating new, this will be Java interface name as employee repository. Now come up with the service, simply right click, new Java class, this will be employee service. And the controller, we are creating new Java class, this is the controller class as employee controller. Such a way we done with this skeleton. Simply reload our project and start with the coding part. For that perspective, simply come up with the employee.java, annotate with @data coming from Lombok. At all our constructor, this is parameterized constructor, you can simply say. Next we are using @nor constructor, @entity, it means this is the entity class actually. Then table, we'll consider the table name as employee as a table name. Now we are using @id, it means this is primary key. At generated value, it means this will be auto increment. Strategy I am giving here identity. Now we are using private, this will be int emp have id. Private string emp have name. Private double emp have salary. Private, we are giving here string emp have department. Time being I am just adding here 4 fields. In your case you can go to the number of fields as per business requirement. Now come up with the repository layer, annotate with @repository. Simply use here extends jpa repository, and there we are giving our entity class name as employee and the corresponding wrapper class name as integer. And if you want to write any custom methods, you can simply write here. Now we'll come up with the service layer, annotate with @service. There we are using @byId. This will be private employee repository. Then here we are going to create the methods as per our business requirement. First method I am just trying to save data into database. The return type itself employee, and the method name as save. You can simply pass the employee as an input. Just to return, this will be employee repo dot inbuilt method available there, save. Coming to next, this will be public. We are giving here optional of. This will be type of our employee. If that is not available, it will return the null itself. It will help us to avoid null pointer exception. Optional class, this is the JavaId feature. Then here I am giving find by id. This will be integer type of empId. We are giving as a input. Typo mistakes, will correct it. Simply use return. This will be employee repository dot find by id. Id as an input. Now coming to next method I am writing here public. It will be fetching list of data of our employee. Then simply say this will be find all as a method name. It will fetch all data from database. Yes, such a way we done with the service layer. Now come up with the next, and this is the last layer, API creation layer, controller layer. Annotate with @rest controller. Itself available response body. It will return object as a response. Next, request mapping we are just going to use, and there I am passing it will be employees. If you want logger, you can simply go to the slave for as well. Now I am using @byId. This will be private. You can simply say employee service. We are just going to pass here, this will be employee service. Yeah. Now the API I am writing here post mapping. We are trying to save the data. That's why I am passing here save. This will be public. Simply say response entity. It will be type of our employee, and the method itself we have available save. We are passing input as a request body, and the corresponding input we are going to pass here. Simply say return. This will be response entity.ok, we are calling here employee service dot save method, pass the input as employee. Then next we are using get mapping, and here we are trying to find by id. Simply I am calling here find by id. We are passing input parameter, that's why I am passing here this will be empId, and once you are passing this input parameter here, it means we are going to use path variable. Then this will be public, you can say response entity, it will be type of our optional of employee. Then simply say find by id, we are passing path variable. Then I am giving here integer type of empId as a input. Then here path variable we are using, then whatever variable name you are giving, same name you must want to pass with the requested URI parameter, and this must be present. Okay, line number 23, empId must be present because we are using here path variable. Okay, now simply to return, this will be response entity dot ok. You can simply call here employee service dot find by id, id as an input there. Such a way we done with the path variable here, like whatever you are giving input here, right? That's why we are passing here path variable, and the corresponding input we are giving as empId, and this empId must be present with the requested URI parameter itself. Okay, now coming with the next is get mapping, and there I am just going to say find by department name, yeah, find by empDept, yeah, department name you can simply say department name, that also fine for us. Then here I am writing public, this will be response entity. Then you can simply say department name, it means we are trying to fetch list of data. Within single department there will be available bulk of data, right? List of data, that's why I am passing here it will be list of employee, and simply say find by department name. Now we are using here request param. See, here is available request param coming from org spring framework web.bind annotation, request param annotation. And then we are just going to pass here string, this will be empDept, like employee department we are giving as an input. Then once you are using request param, then definitely it's not mandatory to pass the requested variable whatever, like we have given empDept, it's not mandatory to present with the requested URI parameter, right? It will be extracted from query parameter itself. Then line number 29, we haven't added any empDept as an input / here, right? Perfect. Now simply to return, this will be response entity dot ok. I am just calling here employee service dot find all, and we are going to use Java feature here stream API to figure the record for this employee. emp dot get department dot equals, you can simply say emp department, and use dot to list ending with semicolon, control A alt control L. Perfect. And here once you are passing, like this is path variable, then definitely this empId must be present at line number 24 here, okay, in requested URI parameter. But if you are using request param, then this emp department, if it's not present there, that also fine. For that perspective, we are just going to add here additional thing like required equal to false, and default value also we are able to prefer there. Then you can simply say required equals to false. If you are giving required equal to true, it means it must be mandatory, right? Then I am passing here required equal to false, and I am just going to give here default value. Which value you want? By default, suppose we require here HR, then I am just going to pass here HR. By default it will consider HR value. If you are not giving any input, it will fetch data for HR, right? Like this is the additional things available in request param, but this is not available in path variable. This is the main difference actually. Fine. Like first point, you can simply say once you are using path variable, then definitely this variable must be present with the requested URI parameter itself. But if you are using request param, whatever you are giving this variable here, right, as an input parameter, it's not mandatory to present with the requested URI parameter. It will be extracted from query parameter itself. Second point, here path variable you are not able to set the default value directly, right? But in request param, we are just giving here required equal to false, and we are able to set the default value as HR as well. Then we'll go ahead and run it. Simply come up with the main class main method here, and simply start our application. Yeah, I'm just coming with the Swagger UI. Simply here this will be localhost swagger-ui.html. We are just going to execute here swagger -HTML. We are expecting here swagger goes to up and running. Whatever like port number we are using here, right? The port number is 8080. By default it goes to pick. Yes. We'll come back to here. Simply refresh the application. It's up and running without any issues. Simply try with the post. Like we are trying to save fresh data. Then employee ID, it's not mandatory. It's auto incremented. Just remove it. I am giving the name as Sora. The salary I am passing here, this will be 2,50,000.99, and the department I am passing Sora from HR department. Simply execute. Perfect. Next I am passing Pratik here, and the Pratik salary we are just giving 1,50,000. Pratik is from research and development department. Simply execute it. Next record I am just passing here, this will be Pooja. Pooja salary we are just giving here, this will be 95,000. And Pooja is coming from finance department. One more record I will insert, and this record I am giving name as Rutuja, and Rutuja salary we are just giving here, this is 55,000, and Rutuja coming from HR department. Simply execute. Perfect. We have available how many records? Now 4 records are available in our database. If you want to check it, then simply come up with the SQL log. Just use our database name. Next go ahead and execute the /star from employee. It will fetch all the data. There is available 4 records, whatever we have just inserted now. Perfect. Now come up with the next. We have available here get mapping, and there is we are using path variable. Then whatever requested URI parameter, right, must be present with the URL itself. Then simply click here. Just try to give 1. It will fetch data for this particular employee. You can simply say, right? Yes. And see, here is the request URL available. I will add this URL here itself actually. You can simply say this is the real-time example. Okay. Now come up with the next. If I am passing here 4th number record, it will fetch the data. And if I am trying with the like 9th number record, it will fetch as null. Perfect. Great. Then whenever you are using path variable, then definitely your whatever you are giving input, right, variable, it must be present there itself actually, right? Yes. And it will be here. Like this is our default API, you can simply say employees. After that find by ID, and here it adding as this 9 as a / separator. If you are going to check it here, fine. This is also main difference available there. Okay. Now we'll come up with the find by department name. Then see, here you are not able to see any department name directly, right? See, like this is the main point here. First point, extract the value from URI path in path variable itself here, and here extract the value from query parameter. See, here is like we are going to pass the query parameter. Okay. Now simply try it out. By default value which coming here, HR. Then simply execute it. It will fetch data for HR. But now if I am passing here finance department, it will fetch only data for finance, which is the employee available there. Pooja is coming from finance department. If I am passing R&D, it will fetch data for Pratik itself. See one screen. Now we'll copy this one as well. Suppose if I am passing here, this will be HR. Execute it. Now here we'll copy this URL. This URL I want to show here also for your understanding perspective. See, what is the difference between this URL? If you are using path variable, then definitely it will add here / separated. Okay, see here only, correct? And if you are using request param, then definitely whatever you have available, right, the API, after that it will add this semicolon separated here. Perfect. And this will be key value pair, you can simply say, like employee department equal to, it shows here HR itself. Like this is key value pair, you can simply consider. This is also one more difference in URL. Mostly nowadays in interview they are asking such questions. What is the URL for request param? That time you can simply say this will be your API, whatever you are giving base API, right? Then after that you can simply use the question mark and then give the your whatever variable you are giving, right? And equal to can give the exact value for that. Okay. And in request param we are able to set the default value as well, but in path variable we are not able to set the default value directly. Like this value must be present with the URI itself actually, here itself. Fine. Yes. And again coming to next, see here I will create the one more API for request param. You will get the more clarity there. I am not going to set the default values. Okay. You will get more clarity. For that perspective I am just coming back to here, and here I am just trying to write the API for find by name. Then we'll come up with the controller. Simply write here at get mapping. This is, you can simply say find by name. Then this is, I'm going to write the API for request param. This will be public. You can simply say response entity. I am just giving here a list of employee. This will be, you can say find by name. We are giving @request param, but I am not giving any default value. I am directly giving here string emp have name. Simply to return, this will be response entity dot okay. We are calling here employee service dot find all. Then JavaId feature stream dot, that is going to filter the record, and then you can simply say this will be employee, right? Employee dot get name dot equals emp name dot to list. We are just going to use ending with semicolon. Control A, Alt, Control L. It will format the code base. And you know we are using dev tool, right? To get live load. Simply come up with the Maven settings and come up with the compiler. Just check here build process automatically. Apply and OK. It will take some time, but it will go to live load. And once live load is done, we are just going to test the API for find by name as well. But there is not available default value. But again, if you are going to check, once you are using request param, then this emp name, it's not mandatory to pass here actually. Okay, yeah, we'll see it. Live load is done. We are just going to test our API. For that perspective, I will simply refresh our application here. Find by name available there. Just try it out. I am passing here Sora. It will fetch the data for Sora. Perfect. If I am passing here Pooja, it will fetch the data for Pooja as well. Perfect. Then see, here is the URL available. Like this is the base URL. You can simply say employees / find by name. Then here question mark separated available. This is the key like variable emp name equal to whatever value we are giving to search it, right? Perfect. Now it's showing here required. But if you are coming with our one more API here, find by department name, right? Then there is not available required as star mark like red symbol, right? Because we have given here default value as HR, correct? And this is we have given required as false. That's why you are not able to see such a required there. I hope you got the clarity for that as well. And one more I want to highlight, like earlier you never try. Suppose if you are trying here, this is emp name, then what happen? See, in request param, if I am giving here emp name, then what happen? Then also we are expecting it will goes to work. Now we are just waiting to get live load. Once live load is done, I will give the demonstration for that. Simply come back to here, refresh our API. Yeah, we'll come up with the find by name. See, try it out. Simply pass the name as Pratik. You will be able to see the data for Pratik. Perfect. And I hope you got the clarity here how to use request param. And if you are passing here name, that also fine. But now I will change request param to path variable. And here you can simply say, suppose this requested URI parameter is the value is not present there, then it will create the problem for us. We are not able to test our API as well. Now what happened? Instead of request param, I just replace with the path variable. I'm giving here input as a emp name, but this input is not present with the requested URI parameter. Then what happened? We'll see. Dev tool live load is done. We are just going to execute it. See, try it out. I am not able to test the API. Simply execute, right? We are getting 500 because here org.springframework.webbind missing path variable exception, like required URI template variable emp name for method parameter type string is not present there. It means it's mandatory to pass here this emp name, whatever you are passing, right, as a variable name. Then give the / curly brace, and inside that you can simply pass the emp name. Now it will goes to work. See one screen. Now simply we need to wait for dev tool live load. Once it live load done, then we'll refresh our API. Yes, this is the Swagger UI. We are just going to refresh, try it out, and passing the name of here employee as a Pooja. It will fetch the data. See one screen. I hope such a way you got the clarity like how to use path variable, right? Yes. Then again we'll come up with our theory part one more time. You will get more clarity here. See, this is very commonly asked into a question. Differentiate path variable versus request param. Then see, add that path variable and request param both are the annotations we are using to pass the input from our API side. Then once you are using path variable, then simply like it extracts value from the URI path itself. It means like here practically whatever you are using this path variable here, right, it must be present with the URI itself. Actually this empId must be present with the your URI API itself. Now we'll come up with the request param, extract value from the query parameter. Then see here we are using request param, then definitely it will be extracting value from query parameter. It's not mandatory like this value must be present here, right? First point is clear. Coming to second point, like path variable if you are using, then definitely it's mandatory must be present in the URL itself. Like this value must be mandatory to pass the here whenever you are using path variable. But if you are using request param, then this like employee department, right, it's not mandatory to present here. So this is the second point. And request param, you will be able to set the optional parameter like use required equal to false and define the values such a way. Like request param you can simply use required equal to false and the default value also we are able to set it, but it's not possible in path variable. Now come up with the next is here we are using get mapping like employees empId, right, as input. And then definitely we are giving path variable and this will be our input we are passing here, and the same spell you need to pass. If you are giving different spell, then also it will not goes to work. We'll see it. See, suppose here I am giving D as capital. Suppose you can simply consider this is typo mistake, right? Again we are just waiting to check it goes to live reload. See, done. Now we'll simply come back to here, refresh our Swagger UI, just test here find by ID, and I am passing here, see, trying, but it's not available here, right? Yes, it means whatever field you are passing here, this must be here. Okay, then I am just going to change with the solid principle, like variable start with the lowercase, intermediate letter must be capital, right? And now both are same here, line number 24 and 25. Then here we are just waiting to check dev tool goes to live reload. Once it live reload, we'll come back to here and test our API. Simply refresh. Yeah, it's taking some time, right, for refresh. We'll do one thing, simply change and refresh now. Okay, sorry, this is typo mistake here, I need to correct it. Perfect. Yeah, now it's done and we'll come back to here again, simply refresh. Yeah, dev tool taking some time actually. Yeah, perfect. Now again you can simply try to find by ID. Yes, you will be able to find by ID here. Second number record I'm trying to fetch it. It fetched the data for Pratik, right? Yes. Then I hope you got the clarity for this input as well, whatever we are passing there, path variable, right? And once you are using for request param, then anyway, like this value we are not going to pass there actually. In code level I will show you, like once you are using request param, then definitely this EMP department we are not passing here, right? And yes, we are able to set the default value as well, and we are able to set here required equal to false. It means this is not mandatory at all. Perfect. Now come up with the next, and the last one is URL. See, for URL perspective, path variable, it's just adding here / separated your actual value. But if you are coming with the request param, then definitely here it will add like question mark, and this will be variable as a key, and equal to you need to pass your value, whatever value. Okay, yes. Then when to use path variable and when to use request param, for that perspective, use path variable when accessing a specific resource like an employee by ID. It means if you are trying to find by ID and ID must be mandatory, that time you can simply go to the path variable. And when to use request param, like when adding filters, pagination or optional inputs to a request. It means if you want to set some default values there, then you can simply go to the request param. If you don't want to set like mandatory fields, then you can simply go to the request param. Path variable means this is mandatory, requested URI parameter input value, and request parameter means it's not mandatory. You can simply say we are able to set the default value as well. Such a way we're done with the practical approach here, and all the APIs we have tested here, and this application I created from scratch. Then definitely upcoming sessions you will get lot of learning curve. I am going to create the separate playlist for interview question answer as well. There I am going to cover up the Java 8, Java 11, Java 17 features. then stay tuned with our Full Stack Java Developer YouTube channel. Thanks for watching this video. Please do like, share, subscribe the channel to get more updates, and see you in next video.